Thank you so much, Intel. Good day, everyone. This is Hobby Wright with Irisity. I will be joined by Asaf Fried, our engineering manager for the Americas. And we just want to give you a little bit of background on who we are and how we came to become an Intel OpenVINO partner and the effect that that has had on our business. Irisity is a Swedish video analytics company, very cutting edge data science, primarily focused on the electronic security industry, applications that span anti-terrorism, homeland security, corporate security, campus security, as well as business intelligence that can be extrapolated from the data that we capture and analyze. But our big claim to fame is the electronic security industry. In Q4 of 2021, Irisity acquired and merged with Agent VI, an Israeli video analytics company. Asaf and I are acquirees, if you will. We came over from Agent VI. It's been a very successful merger. We are in the midst of still merging the two companies and the two products, but it is a very noteworthy acquisition and merger. It was the largest acquisition and merger of two video analytics companies. And a little bit of history about Agent VI. Agent VI was the oldest and largest standalone video analytics company in the security industry. Founded in 2003. So we have almost 20 years in business, and Irisity is almost 16 years. So a combined data set of about 35 years of focus on physical and electronic security and applying video analytics solutions to those industries. We are a global company. We represent the Americas, but we have global capabilities and offices around the world. So what we do is we have a platform called Innovi. It will be migrating to the new Irisity name of Iris in the coming months. But it is a video analytics platform that effectively does four things: real-time detection of unwanted behaviors. Those are typical rules engine, which we'll get into and actually give you a brief demo today, as well as anomaly detection, where we build statistical models and alert on behavioral anomalies against that. We also do alarm filtering for the remote guarding industry with video. We have a forensic tool that allows rapid forensic investigation of the metadata that we produce. And then we also have business intelligence, operational insights, heat maps, and reporting. So those are the primary features of what we do every day. And the value proposition has been greatly enabled by our partnership with Intel. The two biggest problems in the electronic security industry applying video analytics have been nuisance alarms, the amount of false positives, overwhelming end user systems to the point that it cannibalizes the investment, the whole purpose of putting in video analytics in the first place. And the second biggest problem in our industry is the amount of time and money that it takes to optimize those systems to dial in the performance through calibration, tuning, testing, shampoo, rinse, repeat. The amount of time that it takes to do all that to get reliable results ends up costing more in time and money than would have merited the investment. In either situation, it can be likened to surgery that kills the patient. So everything that we've done since partnering with Intel on this modern version of our product, which is a true AI deep learning product, has been aimed at remedying those two problems. And I believe, based on my experience, which is about 20 years in the video analytics industry, and Asaf has me by 10 years, he's been doing this for about 30 years. In my estimation, we have accomplished that. We have the most accurate video analytics for the most common security use cases that is also the most easily scalable. And so really what we bring to market is accuracy and scalability. That's the whole crux of what we do. We're not trying to do everything. So some of our competitors, really most of our competitors, are trying to be Google. They're trying to classify, identify, make searchable and alertable every single object that can appear in front of a video camera, which is a very novel concept. But in reality, the more you do, often the less you do well. So what we've done is really found the sweet spot with the applications and the use cases that are important to the most customers in electronic security, anti-terrorism, homeland security. And we give the most accurate video analytics out of the box. And we're willing to prove that. Our clients and prospects can try it before they buy it through a proof of concept. So the behavior types or the use case applications that we have are basic intrusion detection. You'd be surprised. This is the one that the industry has been trying to tackle for the longest, and you'd be surprised how hard it is. And the beauty of our solution is that you don't see alerts on shadows, light, transient objects, the wind blowing leaves or branches in a tree, all of those things. The hard work, the real data science, the real inference that we have created out of the box understands these things are to be ignored, and the people, vehicles, and other objects that are truly of interest are the ones that we will alert upon when there's an event that matters. So intrusion detection is one of the primary use cases. Unattended object. In fairness, I will say this is probably one of the most difficult use cases in the electronic security industry. We do it, but it happens so often that somebody puts a bag down, walks away from it, comes back 5 or 10 minutes later and picks it up. They were just out of sight on their phone. But we have that capability. Forensic search of everything we do real time, we can do forensically. Rail trespassing. We've actually saved numerous lives with one major rail authority, transit authority in Europe, by alerting on suicide attempts in real time and stopping oncoming trains. So this is not a concept that we're trying to prove. We've actually done this numerous times, and the saving of a life obviously is priceless. And then the ripple effects of the damages to business operations, the reputation, ridership, credibility, all of that. We bring a lot of value in these use cases. And again, the key is not alerting on the trains, not alerting on the windows, on light glaring from the windows, taking the height width aspect ratio of a human being. All of these things, we're very good at differentiating what matters and what the system should rightly ignore. Anonymization is a feature that is in our European product that we are in the process of migrating to the enterprise product as we merge both of these products together. But it's another great feature because obviously privacy is a big concern for the industry. So if we can give you the best of both worlds, we can keep your facility and your people safe, but also respect privacy and be able to address those concerns. That's a huge consideration. Slip and fall detection or human down. I mentioned anomaly detection, loitering, traffic management, violent behavior, social distancing, crowd management. These are all features that our product delivers today. And then a little bit about Intel before I hand it off to Asaf. So we actually started out as an NVIDIA partner with this generation of the product. And GPUs have enabled a lot of our competitors, and there's a lot of great technology out there. And I'll just say some positive things. Overall, everyone should be enjoying about a 20x improvement in intelligence versus where we were, say, 10 or 15 years ago with these modern deep learning products. What we discovered with Intel was we had a lot more flexibility to develop our own proprietary data science. And there are tremendous value propositions that expound down the chain. This is especially coming into light with the supply chain disruptions that we're experiencing. Just eliminating GPU from that equation can just make your life that much easier from a pure business perspective. We've also found that the cost per channel is drastically less, anywhere from 10% to 50% less. And then, of course, that is a GPU is a commodity, so the prices can kind of change. But we've had a tremendous success as an Intel partner. They're a big part of our value proposition and our story. I'm more the business guy. I'll turn it over to Asaf, who can give you a little more detail on the product. We're actually going to show you a brief demo today, and hopefully you'll stick around for Q&A. Thanks for that. And with that, I turn it over to Asaf. Very quickly, though, these are our primary markets, but really anyone who has a lot of video cameras and a lot of money is where we make sense. But we are oftentimes far more cost effective than our competitors. So with that, I'll give you Asaf. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. So I will touch a couple of points, like that Hobby mentioned. So just overall with the video analytics for security, for many years we used to use blobs of pixels and try to give them a sense of where they are in relation to the camera, and then basically use a fixed algorithm to say this amount of pixel in that area of the screen is probably a person or probably a vehicle, but in most cases it was also a tree moving in the wind, a shadow, a cloud moving, and all kind of outdoor environment, a spider crawling on the camera, and that was devastating, like both financially and technologically for the industry for many years. And it was natural to move to AI. We use AI in a couple of different aspects of our product. The first part is that we use it to classify. So we, as you can see, we have here the ability to classify objects. We use the AI in order to do that. We can actually do classifications of people, vehicles, different types of vehicles. So we can classify a truck versus a bus, and we can do more sophisticated things that are much more cutting edge, such as identify the difference between motorcycle and bicycle. In addition to using the AI to classify objects, and we do that with no real intervention, so all the hard work that used to go into making the analytics work marginally okay is gone because the AI does all the work for us. We're also using the AI to monitor that data stream for anomaly. So another aspect of AI that we weren't able to use in the past is the system will monitor everything that it can classify, where it can classify it, and then we'll look at it as time of day, day of the week, based on speed, interaction, and all of that. And the AI will actually make a determination when something unusual happens, like a crowd forming, people running when they usually walk, and things of that sort. Another thing that the AI allows us to do is to actually create a platform. So as I mentioned, we have classifications that are already implemented, like vehicle, a person, and bicycle. We also have the ability, we sort of like created a platform that allows us to leverage the AI and quickly learn new models. So recently we had a customer that required us to recognize business jets on a thermal camera. So we took some samples and we trained a model, and it works right away. Uh, very little R&D involved in the process. So these are the three major advantages that AI brings to us. And the fact that we use Intel architecture makes it almost seamless to most of our customers. The challenges that we had to face were, first of all, the cost aspect of it. Adding GPUs to a system does not end, as you all know, with just adding the cards and the cost of the cards. It's also a maintenance issue. It's also cooling, power supply. Sometimes it's the actual size of the server itself that needs to house those GPUs. And when you work with a system that relies heavily on AI, those GPUs get very expensive when you add up all the rest of the stuff. The second two parts of the difficulties we had with GPUs were, first of all, virtualized machines. How to support GPUs in a VM environment, how much of that support can be translated to what we use. And then the last one is our platform is using Linux in order to work. So that makes the whole process with the GPUs even more difficult. And then keeping up with the drivers, and then making sure that that if a GPU goes bad, you bring in a GPU that matches everything. And sometimes we do it in different countries with different integrators, people we don't work with on a daily basis. And the whole architecture with Intel just makes the process so much simpler. We just make sure that we have a certain architecture, and it simply works. We don't have to worry about any of the things that I mentioned before, and of course the value of the money. Now, as far as what we do in the system is we actually take the AI, and the fact that we work with Intel allows us to efficiently, from a channel pair per CPU process, to process all of our video in real time. So we basically take everything that comes in, and in real time we process that, and we put everything that we can classify with the AI into a data stream. And then we pull that data stream and we use it in different methods. So the first most common way to use it is with what we call the real-time rules. We have a predefined set of rules, like moving in an area, counterflow traffic, stop vehicle, all these different rules, and we simply set them up. And let's say we set up a rule that's called crossing a line. Then every time the data stream recognizes when a person or a vehicle or whoever you choose crosses that line, alert is being generated. The second part of that is the autonomous. Also allows us to use the same hardware. Because we are processing in real time, we don't need to add more GPUs or more processors to do another feature, and that would be the anomaly. The system will go over and will look at whatever classified in the data stream, and will let you know when something anomalous happened. And then the last part, the interesting, is that we also allow the system to search historically that metadata. So all the metadata that we collect in real time, we actually save, and then we allow you to go back in and investigate. And that gives us a little more ability to do things like saying, like, oh, I just want to get people who are wearing a blue shirt, which everybody likes. And the results are pretty instantaneous because we are looking at metadata that the AI already classified, and we are not really running the video again and reprocessing it. So just with respect to our Q&A, I am done. So back to you, Hobby.
Yeah, it looks like we have one question so far that I see. When did we start working with Intel OpenVINO? Actually, we started with NVIDIA in 2016, and we pivoted to Intel in 2017. So it's been a good 5 years now, and very successful traction, great success story.
Another question to ask you is Irisity using some of the optimization tools within OpenVINO, so the post optimization tool or Workbench by chance? And if so, how have your engineers found using it?
I can't comment. I mean, my assumption is yes, and it's been successful, but I really can't comment. I don't know if Asaf has any feedback on that.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. No, I'm pretty sure we're using all the optimization tools. We've been a very close partner with you guys, and actually a lot of our technology was developed together with Intel back in the early days. So I'm sure we're using the best because we have to be competitive with the channel count per dollar, and there's no other way to do it.
Okay. Another question. So OpenVINO is generally released about 4 times a year. For the cadence for Irisity, how often do you need to update your product, or do you follow our release schedule?
Roughly in tandem, yeah. There are typically quarterly releases or 2 major releases, 2 minor. Is that correct, Asaf?
Yeah. So our product appears in two forms, and maybe that's just another thing that we need to mention. So we have the option of doing either a hosted application, which is a SaaS model. That one is updated as available. So you guys float a new update. We changed our algorithms. We changed what we need to change to make the most out of it, and that floats up usually on a monthly basis. But we also have, because of the security industry is not always open for a cloud-based application, we also have an on-premise, which is offline model. Those are updated on quarterly basis and on need basis. So we will accumulate changes, and then we'll push them all up a couple of times a year.
Yeah, and just a note on the hosted version, those updates are pushed out. It's a non-intrusive, effectively passive experience, so it's not like the customer has to do something every month.
Great, thank you for that answer. Maybe one more question. When you were transitioning to OpenVINO in the beginning, we've had our pre-trained Open Model Zoo library of models. Did Irisity start using some of our pre-trained models, and then as your product has matured, have you moved towards retraining and doing deep development of your own models?
Our secret sauce is effectively enabled by the real estate and the geography that Intel gives us, but the cattle is all ours that we farm. So it's entirely our. We roll our own. So it's all of our own, data science, all of our own models. And it's not to diminish any of the pre-trained models. There obviously can be some value there, but because we now have 35 years of combined data between Irisity and Agent VI, we feel that our data science, especially because it's all laser focused on the industry that we serve, is just going to produce the most accurate results. And again, we're here to prove that. If anybody wants to try it before they buy it, we give trial licenses.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I guess we're about near the end. I just want to remind the audience that there are handouts. There's a brochure, and there's also the presentation material excluding the live demo that Asif showed. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you being here to join us today.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, you guys are great. We really appreciate the opportunity, and we're always here to support Intel. Thank you.